Welcome to the third annual Farming Our Future Conference. My name is Benjamin Gardner. I am president of the Taconic Hills Harvest Club. Please stand as our former Taconic Hills graduate class of 2006, Zachary Nair, sings our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed as the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Thank you, Zachary. At this time, I would like to invite Dr. Neil Howard, Superintendent of Schools, to say a few words of welcome.
Thank you, Ben, and thank you all for attending today. I just want to thank you all for showing up, and I'm lucky enough to be the superintendent here at Taconic Hills, and we're in the beginning of a movement, and we're doing this for not only for farmers, but one thing that was not touched upon in the legislative roundtable was, I think, more of the children. When we talk about policy, we talk about health, we think of nutrient-dense foods, which is very important to me. To me, food is medicine. We do have issues with our healthcare system, and this, I think, is a very big part of that solution to it. I also believe that food is a national security issue, and we must approach this from a policy point of view and an educational point of view that puts it in the forefront. This is the future of our society. It's the future of our children. And I just wanted to make sure that was brought up. I'd also like to thank a few of the local elected officials that are here. Our Copake Town Supervisor, Jeffrey Nair. Jeffrey, if you could just stand and be recognized if you're in here. No, must be out looking at exhibits. We also have from Hudson, the First Ward, Sarah Sterling. And is she here? There she is. Thank you, Sarah. And Third Ward, Ellen Thurston. Is Ellen out there somewhere? And also we have the district attorney here today, Paul Chaika. Is Paul in here? Okay, he's around somewhere. So those are some of the local officials that are participating today. All right, thank you very much. Sandra?
Welcome. It's so nice to see such a great crowd at our third conference. We have been building this, and each year it becomes stronger and stronger. It's my pleasure to do the thank yous, and one of the thank yous that is most heartfelt in my heart is the thank you to the Taconic Hills employees and staff members that not only give many hours today, but throughout the year to prepare for this conference and event, and many of these hours are volunteers. So there are just a huge amount of participants that work on this, and we take great pride in our school community to be able to host this for you. And I'd like to specifically acknowledge the technology department, the buildings and grounds department, the food service department. It takes a lot to move 300 people throughout a day, and really they're doing it, and they're the potatoes, so to speak, behind our event, because they're really the thing that keeps us together and makes sure things go smooth throughout the day. I also would like to thank my department, the instruction department, because they help all year long to prepare for this and make sure that it's an instructional experience for adults too. So many thanks to the lovely employees at Taconic Hills, and it's such a privilege to work alongside them. As you know, this event happens through volunteerism, and we have a volunteer committee that is called the steering committee that serves on this. This group serves to bring the event to you. I would like them to stand as I call their names, please. Marissa Cody from the Columbia Land Conservancy. I think she's still helping her registration. Todd M. Erling, Hudson Valley Agribusiness Development Corporation. Christy Hegarty, agriculture teacher at Taconic Hills High School. Tracy Learman, sustainable food systems consultant. Virginia Martin, farm to school consultant. Emily Ponte, Farm Credit East, ACA. And Karen Cruz, I know is still helping down at registration, Hawthorne Valley Association. And we have two co-chairs that keep us moving throughout the year, really help us stay together and organized, and they just do a tremendous job, put many, many hours in. At this time, I'd like to introduce Karen DePury of DePury & Company and Stephen E. Hadcock, Cornell University Cooperative Extension.
Good afternoon. How is everybody this morning? Great. Well, as you could probably imagine, I'm here to thank our sponsors and our exhibitors, because honestly, without them, we really wouldn't be able to put on a conference like this on this scale. It's really an amazing gathering that we have here today, and it's our third year. I know quite a few of you are here for the third time, so thank you for that. Ginsberg's Foods is our platinum sponsor this year and has been a sponsor for the conference for the past 2 years. They're a food service distributor that have pretty much dedicated their mission to buying local, which is great. Our gold sponsors are Berkshire Taconic Foundation, it's working nice, back for the third year. Berkshire Taconic strengthening communities in Litchfield, Dutchess, Columbia, and Berkshire counties through charitable giving. The Farmont Foundation has for the past 2 years helped us to underwrite the cost of the children's program so the kids can come for free, which is fabulous. Farm Credit East has been a supporter of the conference since its inception, and their support obviously is apparent today as well. Valley Energy is a third-generation family-owned business, and we welcome them again for the second year in a row. And obviously all of our exhibitors play such a vital role in the energy of the event as well, and we encourage you to meet with each one of them. There was one slide prior to this one, and I just don't know if I can go back. There we go. We have some in-kind sponsors as well to help us get the word out. The Register Star, Hawthorne Valley has generously donated all of our morning refreshments, and Berkshire Farm and Table has been very helpful in getting the word out. So now, without any further ado, I'm going to introduce my co-chair, Steve. Please feel free to tweet away.
It's my distinct honor to be able to moderate this section of the general session this morning. If we could have our legislative and appointed people to come forward, please. We are fortunate to have our newly appointed Commissioner of Agriculture, Richard Ball, with us this morning. Richard is a farmer, so he is aptly appointed to the right committee or commission or department in the New York State government. So with that, I'd like to turn it over to Commissioner Richard Ball for his opening remarks.
Thank you so much and greetings. Welcome on behalf of the governor. What a great subject here, and thank you, Steve. You've got some very notable people here, good people here that are going to participate today, and I think you are off to a good start. I just want to take 1 minute and tell you why I'm here. As Steve mentioned, I'm a farmer. I've been a farmer my whole life. Our farm is in Schoharie, New York, Schoharie Valley Farms. We raise vegetables over there. We have a farm market. We ship vegetables into the city. We have pack and house cold storage. And I got this phone call last fall from the second floor in Albany asking if would consider the position of Commissioner of Agriculture. That makes a farmer scratch his head, let me tell you. And after spending some time there with the people on the second floor, and after spending a fair amount of time with the governor himself, I went home and I said, they're serious. I don't think we've ever been in a better position here in New York State or had a more willing partner in Albany than we have today. And so based on those conversations I had, I said, yes, I would consider that. And so here I am, a farmer, Commissioner of Ag in New York State, and excited to do it. Your subject here, farming our future, is a great one. I'm a first-generation farmer, actually, because my grandfather sold a farm that I aspired to when I was about 9. So it took me a better part of a lifetime to finally own our own farm. Yeah, but now we have 3 generations on our farm. So this is a subject that's very important to me. And something you hear a lot about, get talked about quite a bit, is the average age of farmers in the state and the country. It's somewhere around 57 or 58 years old. I have mixed feelings about that, actually, because I was able to call my mom up and tell her that her son was above average. And it only took about 57, 58 years to get there. But I don't have a lot of other things to say other than you've got a keynote speaker today in Don Rogers. I probably have 10 pages of notes, Don, going back almost 30 years of inspiration that I got from him. And today, to this very day, I will sit down probably within the next week with Farm Credit as we sit down and review last year and talk about where we're going to go in the future. And our Farm Credit manager is going to look at me and he's going to say, okay, what are the 6 new things that you're going to do this year? So I've trained him that we will do 6 new things on the farm every year, and he knows it probably involves some money. That's on a personal note, so please get your pencils out and have a pad ready because you're in for a treat. Don is a wonderful speaker. And now I just turn it back over to Steve, but thank you so much for being here and for your attention to our industry, which is so critical to the upstate and so critical to the next generation. Thanks so much.
Next, we'll stay a little, well, both are local, but we'll start with our state legislator, Assembly Member Dee Dee Barrett, if you have a couple of remarks for us.
It's my great honor to welcome you here today, and this is the 3rd year that I've been here as a participant in this conference, and I just really want to thank the organizers for increasing every year, making it bigger, better, more focused, more recognizing the timely issues that this industry and this sector is facing, and being sure that they're on point and on target every time. And I'm so proud that it's right here in my assembly district. Farming Our Future is it's a wonderful conference, but it's also sort of a message that this is something that everybody needs to be thinking about. I remember that very first conference when on the PowerPoint there was the visual was agriculture at the nexus of everything we care about, whether it's the environment, whether it's food and family, whether it's social engagement, whether it's economic issues, whether it's industry, all of those things, agriculture, whether it's spiritual issues, agriculture was the center of. And it's so important that we continue to be sure that the rest of the state and the rest of the country and the world recognizes that. And you're the ones to be sure that that happens. So thank you for being here. Thank you for being part of this, and look forward to seeing you throughout the day.
Now we're fortunate to have some federal representation here with our own Congressman Chris Gibson. Chris?
Well, thank you, Steve, and I'm excited to be here today. Thank you for the invite. I think we're off to a great start. What's going to be a tremendous day. We had an opportunity to have a legislative roundtable just moments ago, and there I talked about why it is that I'm optimistic about the future and enthusiastic about it as well. And the collaboration that's going on, the grassroots collaboration, is inspiring. And that coupled with the burgeoning network of support at all levels, at the county level, at the state level, at the federal level, and I think our best days are still in front of us, particularly and especially about agriculture. And Neil mentioned that this is a national security issue, and I want to put a finer point on that as somebody who served in uniform for 29 years. And for better or for worse, found myself involved in operations overseas that had, at least in part, impact from our lack of energy independence. I want to see us get out of that business of having to be dependent on other countries. We absolutely can be energy independent. I don't ever want to see us get in the business of guarding food overseas. And that has everything to do with the viability of the family farm. And that's why it's so important, these grassroots efforts here, that be nurtured and that we have a support network. And I talked about in the session, I'm only going to highlight it here, the Beginning Farmer Program, which the key word here is access. Access to land, access to credit, access to training, access to discounts on insurance for the first 5 years, access to value-added producer grants. All these things, a microloan program, which ideas that came from right here. In this region, we have leaders of the Young Farmer Coalition that come from Claremont and Tivoli and have had already national impact. Other aspects, because this is a public-private partnership, and at the federal level, the initiatives that we push for that are going to be helpful, dairy. We brought forward a new marginal insurance framework that's going to help our dairy farmers survive some of the most challenging circumstances, survive and flourish. And that marginal insurance framework will ensure that if we have a drought again, like we had in 2012, and we see grain prices spike, that we'll have a profitability for our dairy farmers. Fruit and vegetables, the importance of whole farm insurance options. Now, we've got a program, before we enacted this farm bill about a month ago, the crop insurance program was not written for us. It was written for the corporate farmers in the Midwest and the West, those that grow and plant thousands and thousands and thousands of acres of the same crop. That doesn't work for us here when our fruit and vegetable growers, some of them plant 2 or 3 different crops on the same land over the course of a year. And we're bringing forward options that will allow for whole farm coverage, which is another thing we learned by the School of Hard Knocks after Hurricanes Irene and Lee and Sandy. Important provisions, the ideas came from right here in the Hudson Valley. Research. We know there's a direct correlation between research and the yield of our crops. We increase the amount of resources going into research, and not for nothing, but we often win these competitions. We've got the Cornell Cooperative Extension, thank you Steve and the crew. We know that this has a value added to our local economies. At the same time, it's helping our fruit and vegetable growers. The organic community, we won some big victories in committee and on the floor to support the organic community, to help with research, to help with promotional programs for those, and to also defray costs as it relates to the difficult challenges of certification. And I'm excited about the future for the organic community. I want to talk to you about the Farm to School initiative. Neil talked about this. He talked about national security, talked about medicine, talked about healthcare, and at the nexus of this, what we consume. You know, the Farm to School pilot that we got in the Farm Bill can actually be utilized here at Taconic Hills. I met yesterday with the Rondout School District in Ulster County. They're going to be our pilot for the pilot. But what this does is the United States Department of Agriculture now provides monies for school lunch program. And in the main, that's used for processed goods. Well, with this pilot program, schools are now going to be able to enter into relationships with local farms, CSAs, and this will not only improve nutrition in our schools, but we hope it inspires a whole new generation to come to the farm. So I'd love to work, Neil, with Taconic Hills as well. As we get this program up and running, we're going to have an opportunity to shape this because it is a new program, and I think it's going to be good for us going forward. Marketing. We tripled the amount of investment that it goes for marketing. And because we've seen that New York City and the metropolitan area, we see healthy nutritional habits being formed, and we want to promote that. And we want to see us not only grow, produce, and consume locally, but we also see the economic vitality of bringing our food throughout the metropolitan area. We've got the resources now to do it. We've broadened the definition to include not only promotion, but actually aggregation and packaging and the manufacturing that supports that, and I see bright things in our future for that. Broadband. We see a connection between broadband and the rural economy. Obviously, this is going to help farmers, but it's also important for education. We have school districts with broadband, but when kids go home, sometimes at home they don't have access to high-speed broadband. We've got to do better on that. We put in a provision to help with farmers markets as well, so that we can have for food stamps, for the SNAP program, that there would be a broadband, a handheld device, because we know that there's a 5% added value for our food stamps when they're used at farmers markets. And I think that that's going to be important. We plussed up the amount of money going to food banks. I think that's also important. And I will tell you, the rural development sections in the Farm Bill are going to be helpful to us. You've got an expert that helps with applications. And this is a key point about the Farm Bill, because while I'm excited about it, I think it's going to be good for upstate New York and good for rural America. Here's the reality. You got to ask for it. It's a pull system. It's not a push. So we have to actually go out and apply for all these programs. And so you've got experts, local experts that'll help with that have proven track records. Todd Erling being one of them. There's so many out there. We want to actually utilize these programs to help grow our locals' economy. Lyme disease, Terry Gibson mentioned this earlier. We've expanded a new front as it relates to the war against the ticks themselves in the Farm Bill. And we're doing that through the virtue of some of the very best researchers in the world with regard to our environment. The Carey Institute, very competitive in Dutchess County, because we know with changing weather patterns, there's been a proliferation of ticks, and that has exacerbated the issue with tick-borne diseases. We must do better on that, and we will. We're going to have to deal with ag labor and immigration. We absolutely cannot put our head in the sand on this. It's vitally important to all facets of American life, but especially including agriculture, and we will get that done. So listen, I think we're going to have a great day here. I'm very excited to be here and to work with you. I'm especially impressed by the grassroots that put this together and everything in behind it. So thank you very much for the opportunity. God bless each and every one of you. Thank you.
As I went walking that ribbon of highway, I saw above me that endless skyway. I saw below me that golden valley. This land was made for you and me. This land is your land, this land is my land. From California to the New York Island, from the redwood forest to the Gulf Stream waters, this land was made for you and me. I roamed and I rambled and I followed my footsteps to the sparkling sand.